The same way you took your time, your energy, and your effort, and even finances to invest in other people is the same time, energy, and effort you need to start investing into yourself. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why you need to be investing into yourself, as well as what to do when you feel like you spent so much time, energy, and effort into everybody else, with recommendations, reminders, disclaimers, and what to be aware of. Starting off with the introduction, starting off with the disclaimer, starting off with the topic of today's video. You have to realize that you are able to show up for yourself, and you deserve to show up for yourself. When you put time, energy, and effort into everybody else, you are taking away from you. You are draining you. And in the end, when you put so much time and energy and effort into everybody else and they're not pouring that energy back into you, you're the only person who has the empathy comp. You're the only person who's going to have resentment towards yourself in them. You're going to become the person who becomes bitter, because I'm speaking from experience. And 100% of the times when people wanted to take from you and use you, they're going to continue to live their life and do the things that they want to do. And you're the only person, who's going to feel stuck and alone. This doesn't mean that it's nothing wrong with pouring into people and investing into people and supporting people and being there for them if it is reciprocated, if it is mutual. But if it's not, you have to have that energy for yourself. Let me know how many times you sat here and poured into people and they betrayed you or acted like you didn't help them and you were the only person who was stuck with the short end of the stick. Because I could raise my hand and say that I've done that before. I've spent money, time, energy, and effort to invest into people only for it to be a slap in the face. But instead of me getting beat up and being sad and being discouraged, I say, you know what? Let me make this video. Let me speak about this. Let me talk about this so you know what to do and what not to do. You have to realize that there's nothing wrong with helping people, but in order to help people, you have to help yourself first. And that's the first thing you need to be aware of. That is the first recommendation. That is the first disclaimer. You cannot pour from an empty cup. There's nothing wrong with you loving and giving, because there's nothing wrong with loving and giving, because when you love and give, it comes back to you. But we cannot, moving forward, when you're watching this in 2026 or whenever, continue to pour into people and give it to people if we don't have that energy for ourselves, because we end up losing our lives, getting sick. And when you pour so much into people, especially when they're not genuine or wanting to be there for you, they're going to be like, well, nobody told you to do this. Nobody asked you to. You ever dealt with that before? You ever help people and they just, like I said, become nasty? So to avoid those people and to actually surround ourselves with people who want us to feel good about ourselves, we have to know when we have things going for ourselves and when we don't. We have to know when to give and when not to give. When you choose not to give, that doesn't make you a bad person, especially if you're there 99, if not 100% of the times. You have to know that if you're going to give to people, you have to be secure. The second thing you have to realize is that when you show up for other people and they don't show up for you, you still have to be able to show up for yourself. This doesn't mean that people are entitled or obligated to, because people are not, to be there for us. But you won't be disappointed once you realize that sometimes some people are not going to be able to show up for you the way you show up for yourself. And if you learn how to show up for yourself, them showing up or not doesn't change who you are. It doesn't demean your existence or your experience. And what has helped me along my healing journey to not be so disappointed in people was to start showing up for myself. The same energy, the same way I was able to motivate them and be there for them, I had to be there for myself. And once I experienced certain people disappointing me at an early age in life, I stopped having the expectation. So when people did things for me and people do things for you, you're grateful, you're appreciative. But if at any moment they want to move weird, it doesn't faze you. It doesn't shock you. You don't feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Because what happens is a lot of people, like I've stated in the beginning, give and give and give. And then when people do them dirty, they're like, well, I would never have done that to you, or I can't believe that happened to you. And then, like I said, people end up having bitterness and resentment. And it's just like the best way to not be bitter or resentful towards people is, 1, to always have, 2, know when to give, and 3, know that if you're going to give to people, you can't expect anything in return. And that if you're going to give to people, it should be because you genuinely want to. And that's the third thing. If you're not helping people and supporting people because you want to, nobody's asking you to. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Like, I had to hold myself accountable. And it's not an attack. It's not a bad thing. Anybody who says being accountable is hard, I'm going to side-eye you, especially if you claim to be a grown adult. And the reason why I'm side-eyeing you is because I had to be accountable. I had to realize, Ty, like, there were certain people that I was pouring into, and I peeped, like, they were not going to give me that same energy and effort in return. So instead of me continuing to give and give, I just had to realize that I don't need to help these people. I don't need to be around these people. And if I don't want to be bitter or have resentment towards them or me, I need to cut them off and leave them alone. Like, you can't help people who don't want to be helped. You can't help people who aren't trying to help themselves. And it's not fair. Like, trying to help people when they're trying to hurt and harm you is a disaster. And I'm speaking from experience. There were people that I've helped in my past, and it did not end well for them. And for me in the moment. And once I bounced back and I realized, yeah, this person isn't worthy of my time, my energy, I just went no contact, and I don't talk to none of these people to this day. And I continue to show up for myself and pour into myself. And this is why it's so important. If you don't have anybody, you need to have yourself. Like, other than if you believe in, like, God, the ancestors, and universe, and I'm not here to force religion or spirituality, take what resonates, leave the rest, but it's like, you can't continue to be upset for being there for people when they're not there for you. Not just that, what is helping along my healing journey was to realize that if nobody wants to help you, if nobody wants to support you, if nobody wants to be there for you, once you decide to invest into yourself and you take your time and you show up for yourself, it doesn't matter if people are there for you or not. Like, I learned, unfortunately, disappointment at an early age in my life. So I'm good. It doesn't faze me, but I know everyone's not me. And this is why I make these videos. Like, this is why I talk about the things, because you're not me. You may feel resentment towards yourself and other people, but the goal is not to be bitter. Like, the goal is not to stop giving or close our hearts off. Like, I know so many people who have closed their heart off and are mean and nasty and just not the best spirited people because they gave and gave, but they never took the time to realize that you need boundaries. Like, it's nothing wrong with helping people. Like, helping people is free. Supporting people is free. It doesn't cost much to be a good person. Like, at all. But it's just like, you have to have limits, you have to have boundaries, and you have to realize the right people are not going to take advantage of you. The right people are not going to manipulate you. Like, all the people who took from you and took from me and took advantage of us were stupid. You're an idiot. Like, imagine somebody willing to love you, support you, and be there for you for free, to be there for you, and you want to sit here and play in these people's face. You want to sit here and take advantage. You want to sit here and act like you're an idiot, because now you'll never have that type of attention, love, and affection. And people are not replaceable. Like, yes, people have body parts. Yes, people could be attractive. Nobody has your energy. Nobody has your charisma. Nobody has your mindset. Nobody thinks the same. So it's like, no, you're not replaceable. I know I'm not replaceable. Like, support yourself. Once you learn how to support yourself, I'm telling you from experience, you're not going to lose sleep. You're not going to be tripping off of nothing, because you know you got me. Like, love yourself. So I'm going to give you guys recommendations on how to love yourself, how to support yourself, and we're going to end off this video, and you guys are going to let me know what you want to talk about moving forward. But the first recommendation in order for you to support yourself is to figure out what your weaknesses are. When you know your strengths, you focus on those things. You pour into that. You continue to engage. I need you to figure out your weaknesses. I need you to write down your insecurities. I need you to let me know in the comment section, and I need you to address them right then and there. This is for the grown, mature audience. So if you're not grown, mature, and you're not ready, send it in shirts to somebody else. But it's like, we need to face our fears today. We're not moving into 2026 with this energy. It is December 16th, Tuesday. As I'm recording this, 2025 is what I meant to say. We're not carrying this energy in 2026. What are your fears? What are your insecurities? Write them down. Address them. Talk about them. Book your service in your session, or go to a therapist, or go to your God, the answers of the universe. But you need to confess them. Confess your sins, confess your insecurities. Why? Because once you confess them, you can realize, well, how is this affecting me? Why do I feel this way? Then you can come up with solutions. Then you can allow yourself to grieve. Then you can allow yourself to process what you've been internalizing or suppressing. What are your insecurities? What are your weaknesses? What do we need to do to start to work towards them? Start there. You have to start from somewhere. Baby steps. Once you figure out your fears and your insecurities and you realize how it's affecting you and how it's showing up in your life, like I stated, we come up with solutions. What can we do now to work towards these fears, to overcome them or accept them for what they are? It's no reason for you to be afraid of yourself. A lot of people have fears because they grew up without. So maybe you didn't have the resources growing up. Maybe you didn't have the tools. Maybe you didn't have the education. Maybe you didn't have the community. Maybe you didn't have the background. These are limitations. These are illusions. These are blockages. Once we figure out, like I said, how these illusions, how these limitations are showing up, and we acknowledge how we feel, which is the second recommendation, being vulnerable, we come up with solutions. And that's the second recommendation. Be vulnerable. Talk about why you feel insecure. So, for example, if you feel like you're not confident because people made fun of you and bullied you, talk about how that affected you. Talk about how that made you feel about yourself. And talk about how it made you show up in this world. The third recommendation is acknowledging if they're true or if they're false. If you don't feel this way about yourself, but people have projected and deflected onto you, you can learn to retrain your mind. You can learn how to become confident. You can learn how to become better. And that's going to be the fourth recommendation, is with positive reassurance, positive affirmations. You have to train yourself and teach yourself and show yourself a different way of confidence and success by following me, booking service and session, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Once you start to support yourself, you have to surround yourself with people who support themselves. And you'll know people support themselves based off of how they carry themselves, based off of what they say, based on how they talk about themselves, how they talk about others, and what they do. And most importantly, their spirit, their energy, if you have discernment. You have to know that you supporting yourself is a choice. And that's the fifth and final recommendation. You have to choose to support yourself. You have to choose to pour into yourself the way you poured into everybody else. But I'm telling you from experience, the best thing that's helped me along my healing journey was to give all the energy that I was giving to everybody else who didn't deserve it and snatch it right back. Snatch all of it right back. And I'm telling you, all that energy you put into people, when you know you're her, when you know you're him, when you know you're great, be bigger and badder. Who cares about how people feel about you? I'm telling you, as you continue to elevate and you get bigger and stronger, you're only going to be surrounded by people who are big and strong. And all the people who are not big and strong, they're going to get plucked. They're going to get popped. They're going to get knocked out. And they're going to disappear. They're going to evaporate. They're going to evaporate. Because they can't fake the energy. They can't fake the funk. You can't fake to support people. So it's like when people don't want to support you, you don't need their support. When people don't want to be there for you, you don't need them. There are people in this world who are going to support you and love you. You don't need to be worried about people who are not for you. And that's what it really is about. Once you focus your energy on the people that are for you, like the people who comment and engage, I'm grateful and thankful for you guys. I'm not worried about people sending negative energy or negative comments. First of all, I'm not reading it. Second of all, you're not nobody to me. And third of all, I don't have respect for you. Let's make that clear. When you respect yourself, you respect others who have respect for themselves. If people want to be nasty and rude and want to drain your energy, ask yourself, why should I be around them? And let me know in the comment section, why should you pour into people who don't pour into you? Why do you want to be in a relationship with people they can't even do the bare minimum? You're not asking for too much. And if you feel like you're asking too much, these people are not enough. Let's be for real. Like, this is boss energy. Everyone's not a boss. The bare minimum. If you could sit here and support yourself and do these things for yourself, why would you tolerate it from other people? And that's the same thing with me. I cannot expect people who are boss-like energy to feel some type of way. If they can provide those things for themselves, why would I feel some type of way if they want me in their life or not? You feel me? Like, you're not going to feel no type of way. Like, when people reject you, it's for a reason. Like, all the people that rejected me in my past were supposed to because they were not enough. All to y'all shade. Like, you're never doing the most when you're doing enough. When you are the most. When you are enough. People always, oh, you do the most. You don't do anything. Don't allow small minds or small people make you feel bad because you're meant to take up space, and abundance doesn't have limitations. You're never going to be worried about supporting people or people supporting you, not supporting you when they carry the same energy. So when people don't, that's why. But it's like, it doesn't matter. That's what people fail to realize. Like, low vibrational people who don't support themselves, who could be learning from you and being inspired by you instead of being envious or evil or narcissistic or negative, could learn. Surround yourself with people who support themselves and watch how your life gets better. But I'm gonna need for you to start figuring out your insecurities, and I need you to start addressing them, and I need you to start facing them so you could support yourself, because you have the energy. Now, of course, when you spend time, energy, and effort pouring into everybody else and people drain you, what's going to happen is you're going to get removed out of your life. Eventually, these people are going to get removed out of your life. There's going to be hostility. There's going to be tension. They're going to get taken out of your life. Rather you do it or it's by force. If you know, you know. If you claim to be connected or spiritual or whatever, you're not going to be in your life. They're not going to be able to fake the funk. That's why people get betrayed and people backstab them and people get left and right. You start losing people places. It's not a coincidence. It's very much so intentional. Once these people start getting removed out of your life, it's time for you to sit with yourself. You're going to be in isolation. You're going to be lonely. This is the time where you self-reflect. You evaluate what you've learned, what you didn't learn, what you need to work on, who was for you, who's not, and set the boundaries. That's it. That's all. Until you learn the lessons, until you start setting boundaries, until you become confident, until you are able to support yourself, it's going to be a cycle. Okay? Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Thank you for liking, commenting, engaging. You guys, 2026, turn up. Energy is high and ever. It's only going to increase. So like I said, if you're not about it, send it and share it to somebody who is, because yeah, let's talk about it. Follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. On Instagram and on TikTok, we will go live talking about these things, motivating and educating, and just continue to be a boss, because when you support yourself, you don't need anybody. When people support you, you're grateful. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to stop anything. It's not going to change anything. So if people don't want to support me, I support myself. Okay? Rest when you need a rest. Be practical about how much time and energy you're able to pour into yourself. Don't overwork yourself. When you know you support yourself, you don't have nothing to prove, you don't have nothing to show, you're going to do what you need to do. And you will get the resources when it's time for you to get the resources. But until you realize that everyone's not worthy of your time, your energy, and effort, you will continue to be drained. Okay? Love you. Bye.